Frack on to another episode. We still don't know. This is episode 2. We still don't know what we're calling it. We'll figure it out. But for now, we're calling it Frack the Comics, or until a better title is chosen. I am joined again all the way from Milwaukee. My brother from another mother, Mr. McCree. How are you doing, sir?
What's up, buddy? I'm doing fine. Doing fine.
It's been a while since we last spoke.
It's been a while.
That was very Carmen. That sounded very Carmen. I've been watching South Park again. I forgot how funny that show was. Anywho, we're talking about my favorite hero, my favorite Marvel hero, pretty much my favorite hero, period, besides Wolverine. The Guardian Devil himself, Mr. Daredevil. Alrighty. So
Mr. Daredevil to you.
If you're nasty.
Wow.
That's right. It's okay, I'm Catholic. I can say it.
That's more Daredevil, I think.
Oh my god. Okay. What do you think about Daredevil? What is your opinion about Daredevil? Because I remember my first take of Daredevil was the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie.
This President's Day weekend, a new hero arrives, and the movie event of the year begins. Now, the wait is over. Daredevil.
You're holding back. Don't.
Rated PG-13, February 14th, only in theaters.
I'm like, and I remember we were 17. I was gonna be 17 when it came out. It came out for Valentine's Day. I remember that I was by myself at the theater, and I think the theater had 3 more people, and one of them was another couple. Another one was another dude who was alone by themselves too. I'm like, God, what a loser. Anywho,
okay. Are you asking me about what I think of the movie, or the character? Okay, so I like Daredevil a lot.
How were you introduced to Daredevil? What was your first introduction to Daredevil?
The Spider-Man animated series of the 90s.
This time I'm getting you out of here.
How? You can't see your way through this smoke.
Maybe some of us look at the world differently than others.
Thanks. You saved me.
Actually, I was saving Peter Parker.
Excuse me?
You got that disc, right?
Oh, yeah, right. The disc. This data will clear Parker. Get it to your pal, Matt Murdock.
I'm sure he'll be grateful, as I am.
That's right. I forgot he did that.
He was in a couple of episodes. I think just an arc. He showed back up a couple times. So like, yeah, because he was like a guest character, and obviously, you're watching you got the show you love. You know what I mean? I love Spider-Man, and then he's got this other character that comes in, and you know what I mean, and they have these other cool powers. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh yeah, dude, this is awesome. So yeah, like when I saw him in that, I thought that Daredevil was pretty cool. And then and saw his movie. I remember seeing his movie in high school, and I remember like other kids like kind of talking mess about it, and like not like what, like I enjoyed the movie. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like,
I got that too.
Like there were like, I get like the CG wasn't as good as it could have been, and they certainly did not need to like. Daredevil's not necessarily a hero that needs to do like CG type stuff. You know what I mean? So they didn't have to do that, but whatever. The movie was fine.
I remember being like, okay, I love this character. Like, I remember being, okay, this movie's not the best movie, and I'm like, but I love this. I can still feel the presence of this character is angry, and he's Catholic like me, so I get that. I relate immediately. And I went back and I read, and the first thing I read, because I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. Like I love Dog, I love Clerks, Chasing Amy, J.S. and the Bob, Jersey Girl. And I read his first one, Daredevil, Guardian Devil. And that was the first time I'm like, I think that was the first time I cried in the comic book. Because I'm like, I understood like what I love about comic books is that you can read the characters' thoughts, you can feel what they're feeling. And I remember being like, I know the first time I cried in a comic book, I'm like, this is the best hero ever after Wolverine. And now I'm just between Wolverine and Daredevil. But I think Daredevil is one of the most underrated. I mean, I still think he is, even though he's at a Netflix show. I'm like, I still think he's underrated. Like, yeah, you got Spider-Man, you got the X-Men, but I'm like, Daredevil he always gets back up. He said it first.
Like, I think that, and there's a lot of Daredevilness tied to Spider-Man-ness because, similar colors, similar mode of getting around the city, similar motif, sort of like more ground level heroes. I would just say Spider-Man is just like on that tier of heroes, just a bump up, just a bump higher because he's more street level than he is. But I, Daredevil really embodies that sentiment that like Chris Pine Spider-Man was talking in Into the Spider-Verse, where he's like, you know, you always just get back up. That's what it is to be Spider-Man. That's what it is to be Daredevil. You know what I mean? Because Daredevil isn't necessary. Daredevil is superhuman, but like his senses are. You know what I mean? Like besides that, he's a dude. You know what I mean? Like he's just a dude, a blind dude. You know what I mean? But like freaking, so it's like he really has to work for his victories. You know what I mean? And I think that's very like that's very present in at least the Netflix series as well. But even in the comics. But like, you know, just that he really has to work for it. He gets hurt. He like, you know what I mean,
he gets tired. Like that hallway fight scene. There's that one scene where you kind of just see him, like he kicks that one dude tired and he falls on the wall. And he's just like, you can see he's tired. The dude comes in and he like he forces himself up and then he kind of just like throws like a half easy lazy punch, but he's still going. I'm like, this man is so freaking tired, but he's still going. I'm like, Batman, like he's not Batman. He's not, you know, he's not Spider-Man. He's like he's human, and that's why I love Daredevil because he's the most human of all the superheroes.
Yeah, because we really don't see Batman's what do you call it?
Humanity.
Exactly. Like he might get vulnerable for a little bit, but beyond that, like. Yeah,
like I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, but he says that he like Batman's the most human. I'm like, no, he's not. He's not. He's the most. He has got money. That is a superpower that 99% of the people doesn't have. I'm like, Daredevil is like Matt Murdock is like he carries like again going back to the Catholic theme. I'm like he carries his own cross of like I made this promise. I have to do this. Like it's. I don't know if you feel it. I don't know, like in with us, kind of we've called Catholic guilt. I don't know if there's a Baptist guilt or whatever it's called, but like
a Christian guilt or something. Yeah, I got you.
Like I'm like we have to do this because like or else like we'll go to hell or whatever. But maybe not that, but just like we have to do it because it's right. I don't, and not all of them are like that, but just like there's something that like we feel bad for taking enjoyment of something, and we feel I feel bad if I do something. It's his Catholic guilt that kind of at least makes him relatable to me. But what I love about Daredevil is his relationship with his characters. Like, let's start with the main villain first, Kingpin.
Okay.
You start. You like how do you feel about that? What do you think about that? Like I could.
You know, here's the thing. I have limited Daredevil comic book knowledge. All right. Most of my Daredevil exposure comes from live action or animated things that he has been a part of, but everything that they have set him up in, I like the juxtaposition of those two characters. Both of them, in some way, kind of like well, you know, I mean, like let's take the Netflix series, right, and even the movie too. To a lesser degree, though, just in both of them, in some way, being these men from the same place, who are both self-made men and are both striving to make their home better. Mm-hmm. One is going about it this way, and this way that he thinks is right or correct, or the way that'll make the most effect. The other is doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like. And then when they meet, you know what I mean? It's like their sparks are bound to fly because they both have drive, determination, and a will to do what they think is right. You know,
I would say it's when the unstoppable object meets the immovable object. You know, they cancel each other out, and so kind of just like boom. But it's that their relationship is one of my favorite in comic book history, and like as much as I enjoyed your Daredevil with Ben Affleck, I Vincent D'Onofrio knocked it out of the park in the Netflix series, and I just love how Kingpin, like he's still like he respects Daredevil so much that even though he knows who he is, he get held up for himself. All right, no, I'm gonna use that to my advantage. Like is still some respect in the comics. There's still some respect between both men to each other.
Yeah,
but they're like, all right. I know we do this, but they hate each other, but they respect each other still. But like, there's always that like, I hate you more. I hate you more. But there's still that respect that neither of them would cross, like, out of respect for each other. Because, like, I don't think Willie Fisk would do that. Willie Fisk. I don't know why I call him. Willie Fisk and I are like this, all right? That's why I can call him that. Which is Spider-Man. You know, I don't think he needed to revert to the Avengers, but he would for Daredevil.
Exactly. Yeah, I really like that too. I really like also like just the aspect of like in that relationship, Matt Murdock slash Daredevil has the absolute underside to that. You know what I mean? The absolute he is the underdog in that. You know what I mean? He has minimal resources. He's like not even as strong as Kingpin is physically. You know what I mean? Like, but the fact that he can still be a thorn in Kingpin's side, you know what I mean, with like what he has, you know what I mean, and that he can still force Kingpin to recognize him, you know what I mean. Yeah, I really like that.
Something we kind of talked about a little bit of like, dude gets so much tail. I'm like, you were a blind mofo, you're a lawyer, but dude gets so much tail in the comic book. I'm like, dude, like, how did you not get an STD yet?
He can
Or-
sense it. He can sense
Sense it. Oh my god, he goes, no, only oral.
It's like, yeah, Foggy. Foggy. I got one for it.
But something and there was this show again. The Netflix show did a great job of, at least for me, because the Electra I know is the Electra post Frank Miller. Post like people didn't touch Electra for a long time until I guess Bendis brought her back. I could be wrong. I don't know who brought her back, but there was a time when like, Frank Miller brought her back, but people didn't know if it was canon or not. Like, we're not going to touch that. Like after the death of Electra, no one kind of like touched her. So when I was introduced to her in the Daredevil movie, I'm like, okay, whatever. But I loved the relationship Electra from the Netflix show had with Charlie Cox. I'm like, I think we talked about this too. I remember because like, at the time I think he was started dating Karen Page in the show, or not yet. But I remember being like, I remember we were not talking about them like, Karen Page is his angel, and Electra's his devil. Like, you know what I mean? Like Electra brings out the bad boy, the naughtiness in every guy, in every man, and then Karen Page is like, oh, the girl you want to bring home to mom. But to quote Frank Miller, but you want to bring the dirty girl next, be with her. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, exactly. She is definitely that, the more she brought, and they were definitely aiming at that, you know what I mean? Like, she was trying to bring out that side of him, because that's what they had together, you know what I mean? And she obviously wanted to be with him, as well. But yeah, I like that. So what we can talk about the Daredevil Electra relationship, is that what we're talking about right now?
I think let's talk about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah. Well, yeah. Once you elaborate a little bit more, what do you like about the Daredevil Electra relationship?
I love how violent it is. I love how it reminds me of just one person a little bit. I'm like, this person brought me, I'm like, to the worst, to my best. I'm like, oh my god, like, what do you want from me, woman? Like, who pick a side? And it reminded me of that. Like, he was like, at the same time, like, Matt Murdock has grown. He's mature. He's a lawyer now. He's got a business. He's a man, right? But when he's with her, he regresses. He regresses to being a college kid. Like I guess it would be his version of like getting like a frat party. Like, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like,
Right.
I like that. I'm like, and I don't like. I believed it too. I'm like, yeah, I can see it. I don't think I would have bought that with anyone else, but like the way they played it, a lot. And that actress, Elodie Young, I'm like, you're Electra, really? But she killed it. I'm like, holy crap, you are amazing as Electra. Like, no one else should play Electra but her.
Oh yeah, I thought she was great. I thought exactly what you just said. Yeah, I'm like, well, you should always be Electra now, forever. But yeah, they also, gave her a great role to play as well. Lesser so in Defenders, I thought, but that's
We do
another.
not speak about Defenders here, like we don't speak about.
Like, it was fine. It was fine. Just, it was there.
I guess. I mean, all right. Go ahead, sorry.
let's see. So, well, just a few notable Daredevil comic memories I have. Obviously, you showed me Guardian Devil, and I thought that it was awesome. You know what I mean? Like that was the first Daredevil comic I read. And then at around the same time I started to get into comics, my brother saw that I was getting into comics, and then he was starting to get into comics too. Like, well, he had a few, you know what I mean, but like never really kind of went for collecting. And my brother has a couple of favorite heroes. One of them is Captain America. The other one is Daredevil. He's got only a couple of Funko Pops that adorn his TV console. One of them is Captain America. One of them is Bucky, the Winter Soldier, and the other one is Daredevil. My
I
brother
like
loves Daredevil.
Go ahead.
My brother loves Daredevil. So he would collect a lot of Daredevil, and we would. I was in college, and I'd come home, I'd read some comics, and we kind of trade, kind of shop a little bit. You know what I mean? He'd show me what he had, I'd show him what I had. He wanted me to read this run on Daredevil where Matt Murdock was in prison. I don't know. Did you ever read that one?
I think you let me borrow. I think it was the Devil in Lockdown, the Devil in
Yeah, that's not Cell Block D. The Devil in Cell Block D.
yeah.
And that one, I thought that was pretty. And then like even freaking, I think it might have been during like the Civil War era.
I think it was during Civil War or right after Civil War.
Yeah, like he was in there, and then like Punisher like broke it because even that like kind of reminded me of the Netflix series, but Punisher like broke into or got arrested on purpose, not broke in. Punisher got arrested on purpose just to go in there and like freaking kind of like bust him out or just help him or whatever. You know what I mean?
Wasn't he Daredevil for a minute?
I think he might have been. He was somebody. I remember like some kind of tie-in comic that he was certainly like wearing somebody's mantle.
I remember it was Iron Fist. I think Iron Fist was playing Daredevil for a minute.
I think he was. I think Iron Fist did do that.
And that's something I kind of got on my nerves with. I'm like, why is everyone else wearing Daredevil? Like that's the one thing that annoys me about Daredevil. He's always getting caught by his identity. That's been a joke. I'm like, this is kind of a joke now. But like I think he's always being exposed. Like I love Spider-Man. No Way Home. Like everyone knows who he is, but like no one will tell him. I'm like, he's gonna get caught eventually. That's the one thing that bugs me about his relationship. Like, why does there are jilted lovers out there, and no one said anything?
No, exactly. Why would nobody? Exactly. He's got nice people that don't want to say anything.
Or dead, like Electro and Bullseye. All right, picking up Bullseye. All right, let's talk about that relationship between those two. I love the hatred between those two. I love how they're just like, I didn't see Daredevil season 3 because I was just like, I don't know if I can watch this anymore. I don't know why. I took a break from the Netflix show, but I did love the one in the movie. That was so much fun. In the comics, it just again, they hate each other with every single bone of their body. I'm like, oh my god, I love it when those two meet and fight. It's just like, because whoever writing Daredevil, like, no matter whoever writing it, like, yep, they got it right. Like these motherfuckers hate each other, and they're just gonna go at it, like try to kill each other.
I love that too.
It.
And I love it's just like I love how he's annoyed that a person could make him miss. You know what I mean? Like, and that just drives it too. You know what I mean? It's like what? Like, I don't miss. This dude is what? Like, no, F that.
To quote Colin Farrell in Daredevil. That was so stupid.
I just thought that character was so ridiculous, but I loved it. I loved every minute of it, dude. I loved
in the movie. Yeah,
in the movie. I loved his whole portrayal of that character.
Oh, she's sleeping. Anything else? More pain, that's place. That's a horrible Irish accent. I'm so sorry if I'm offending any Irish people, but
that's hilarious. No, I loved his portrayal of that character. Like it's goofy, and it was goofy, and he was having a blast. You could just tell he was just having a good time.
Colin Farrell was having a good time.
And I was having a good time watching him have a good time.
I guess, and then I just love it. I just love that character so much. I get it. Like I get where you're coming from. He has no. He can't. He rolls himself up. He went to law school. The fact that he's a lawyer by day, vigilante by night, I'm like, that is so Catholic. I remember Frank Miller was like, oh yeah, Catholic. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean, Frank Miller? But I'm like, the older I'm like, oh, I get it. Makes sense.
Foggy Nelson.
Foggy Nelson, his best friend. I don't know. I love it. It's a bromance. I get it. Like I have a bromance. I love my best friend. That's right. I said it. I get it. I'm like, oh my god, like they love each other, but they're afraid to say it because like they said it, but never said I love you to each other in the comics or in the show too, right? Like when Foggy finds out that Daredevil, like Matt Murdock is Daredevil, like he goes off on him or whatever, but he's like, I'm not gonna tell. Like it was weird. I'm like now the older again. I'm like, oh, I get it. I understand. I I didn't realize this, but when I was watching Spider-Man No Way Home, did you notice this? That I forgot Jon Favreau played Foggy Nelson in the Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't something that was like, it wasn't something that I was watching the scene and like geeking out about it, but it was something that like somebody had mentioned later, and I was like, oh yeah, he was Foggy Nelson and fucking Matt Murdock right there.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. And someone pointed out to me after the fact. Actually, no, someone on Facebook posted it. I'm like, and I call myself a Daredevil fan. But I was just like, oh, Daredevil, the real Daredevil's here. I just like the brothers. I love again Guardian Devil. Again, Guardian Devil is my favorite Daredevil. I've read other Daredevil stories where Foggy left like he. It's so volatile. They're always off and on again. Like he's with the practice. He's not with the practice. He's in the practice. He moves somewhere else, and then he comes back. I'm like, dude, like, what is it with you? Like, yes, pick one, bro. Either you're in the life or not. But again, at the end of the day, comic books are always a second act. They're never gonna.
Exactly. They got to keep the drama going. I mean, but in some respect, friendships can be like that too. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, dude, like you're my ride or die, but you did this thing that pissed me off, and I'm like really pissed, and I want to fucking fuck with you. Then you know what? I'm over that shit. That's not like fucking. Let's fucking bury the hatchet, dude. Fucking. Yeah.
I love you, man.
Yeah. I mean, like fucking. But hey, such is life, man.
C'est la vie. I have nothing else. I think Daredevil is underrated. I know people are always gonna agree, but like I just think Daredevil is the bee's knees.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think he carved out a nice niche in the Marvel universe, and now he's irreplaceable in our hearts. You know what I mean? There is the spot for Daredevil.
Always. Final cut. Yeah, you said. Yeah, I got nothing to add to that. Like, it has been said. Yeah.
Yarp.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you same fracking time, same fracking channel. Until I get a better title, frack off.